Okay, everybody. So, welcome back. This is Ian from Theralist, and we're going to continue now looking at Flodesk in these very short, tiny 2, 3, 4, and maximum 5-minute videos on how you can very quickly and easily create your first newsletter, your first email automation sequence, your first nurturing sequence, whatever the kind of industry jargon terminology you want to choose here. It matters not, but there are distinctions that are different between these various types of lists, and we're going to cover those in each one of these tiny videos. All right, so for an example, here is a really small workflow that I just published, I don't know, like a week ago. So you can see if you click on the bottom, if you click on this here, it shows 172 subscribers. There are 163 currently in this workflow, and 9 have completed the workflow. The salient piece of that point to me as the owner of this account is this workflow doesn't have a completion. So essentially, what this means is these 9 people have either bounced the email addresses they provided were not good, so the email didn't arrive, or ostensibly they've unsubscribed, which several of these folks have, over the course of the first 10 days or so. So, I think it was about half and half. Half were bad emails and half were unsubscribes. And you get all that information again by just clicking on these bars here on the bottom right. So this is a different workflow. You can see this has 769 subscribers. There are still 183 in the workflow. 586 have completed it. This is a little bit more of a mature workflow, so these numbers are probably correct. There is actually a finite end to this. So, it would make sense that 586 people out of this have completed the workflow, because it was really only, I think, 30 days. And as I scroll down, you can see there's just tons and tons of these different, workflows that we've set up. That's 36 subscribers. Let's look at this one. 165. There's still 8 in the workflow. 157 have completed it. And again, I have 13 pages of these. I'm not going to bore you, but that is essentially how you look at the metrics within the workflow. You can edit it like this. So if you click on edit it, that does essentially turn off the workflow momentarily. So you want to do this with some degree of caution. I'm going to show you some really cool ways of editing your workflows without losing the the sort of the current state of the workflow. So if I had people signing up or scheduled to get an email and I start editing this and they're scheduled to get that now, they're not going to get anything from us. And that's, obviously not an ideal way of working with workflow. So essentially you want to just you want to duplicate these. I'll show you that in another video. I do want to keep these short. And essentially we're going to do a new workflow and go through this process step by step. And we do that by clicking on this button here. All right. So this actually brings up these templates, which are very cool in Flodesk, because you're actually getting a customized sort of use case specific, way of, kind of sending out a workflow contingent upon your particular need. So a sales sequence, you can click on this and it'll actually load a sales sequence. A welcome sequence, it will load a welcome sequence. So let's pick welcome sequence, because I know many of you are just getting started, and let's see what that looks like. And essentially, you're going to customize this, but you're going to see that this workflow has already been pre-populated with, these emails, and they are staggered over a sequence of time that Flodesk has decided is optimal. I disagree with their timeframes, and I'll explain why a little bit in a minute. And then the exit at the bottom here, subscribers have completed the workflow, right? So if you wanted to continue the workflow, you would just continue to add steps like this. And you can add a time delay, an email, a condition, or an action. And we're going to cover all of that in the next step.